Primm, Lucas Walls, St. Louis Cardinals advocates and fans, St. Louis fans with like Philip Vincent, a buddy of mine I had on here recently. How you guys doing?
Doing well, man. Doing real well. How are you doing out there on the East Coast?
I'm good, man. Really good day today. Some warmer weather. Gonna get some pickup basketball in for the first time in a while tomorrow. So super pumped about that as stuff is starting to slowly open up here. So hopefully listeners across the country are experiencing the same.
Yeah, stretch those hamstrings.
Oh yeah, yep. Got yoga in this morning, so all about stretching the body and the mind. But they have an awesome story, and I'm excited to chat with these guys because this is the first time that we're meeting. We have a mutual friend that they work with who's an awesome dude. I mentioned Phil Vincent, so I'm excited to hear their story and how they can bring value to you guys. Essentially, why they're on the show, just to talk and connect with other like-minded investors, like listeners of the 80/20 show. So I guess just to kick things off, Sam and Lucas, could you guys paint a picture of what your businesses look like today?
Yeah, we can. We'll go ahead. So we'll kind of split up. We'll kind of have three main businesses that we are. Our first one is our rental portfolio. We own 110 rental doors, a mixture of multifamily and single family. We've been creating that over the past 6 years. We have a flipping company, Faster House. We bought 168 houses last year. Our goal is to buy 182 this year. We rehab about 50 or 60 of them. The rest of them we wholesale.
Yeah.
You want to hit on the education?
Yeah, and then we also have an education business where we have a YouTube channel, a webinar series, boot camps, and also a local mastermind. So pretty much hitting all angles of the real estate investing space.
Very cool. A five-tool player, if you will, in the REI space there in St. Louis.
Oh,
Cool. So
Jack.
if any of you, yeah, if any of you guys are in St. Louis, definitely reach out, and I'll grab all the information. If your admin or your team can send over all the information on your YouTube education details on the local mastermind, that would be awesome. I'll put that in the show notes. So you guys have a ton going on. A lot of people listening to this show are already pretty active in investing. Most are doing wholesaling, flipping, stuff like that. But I guess to best for me to know you and the audience to know you, why don't we go back to the beginning, talk about the typical question that you'd be asked on some of the interviews that you guys are going to be doing, of how you got into real estate and kind of what sets you apart from other people and what made you successful.
Yeah, so graduated from college back in 2011, I think, for Sam. Took me a year longer, 2012.
He was on the 6-year plan.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm not a doctor, so do the math. Graduated, got an engineering job, and just thought I would kind of coast out my engineering career, and decided about a month into it that working for somebody else the rest of my life was not for me. This was in Kansas City, which is across the state from where we're at. And I think I called Sam. I was like, when I get back to St. Louis, we're going to start investing in real estate. And I started reading every book I could. And then a year and a half later, I think 2014, we bought our first rental house. And we thought we're actually going to flip it, and decided to keep it in our rental portfolio, and then added 110 cents. So kind of left out the middle area there. If Sam wants to fill in at all, he can. Go ahead.
Yeah, real quick, Lucas, how'd you guys buy the first deal? What type of financing? How'd you find it? All that stuff, just to get an idea.
Oh, sure. That's great. We found it on the MLS, actually, in 2014. It was still kind of possible to find some deals on MLS. So my mother-in-law was an agent and always sent me properties, and we bought this house for $77,000. We utilized a private lender that we've been talking about doing real estate investing deals with for years before we started. So he funded the $77,000 purchase and the $20,000 rehab. And then we went to a bank. It appraised for $125,000, and we refinanced our private lender out of it plus interest.
Very solid. And you had somebody already lined up to do the work on the house?
Yeah, we did. We did most of the work ourselves on the first several. We each had full-time jobs, like we talked about. Pretty much every Saturday and Sunday, just out there doing what we knew how to do and doing what we didn't know how to do. If that makes sense. So we were just kind of working through and doing everything we could ourselves. And we had a contractor that we knew that had done, I think, Luke's sister's bathroom. And we brought him in, and he did all the work that we couldn't do, like a little bit more of the finishing touches, the finished carpentry, hanging the cabinets, putting in countertops, that kind of stuff that we couldn't really do. He did that, and he's still with us to this day. So that was kind of our first experience at just getting in one and using the BRRRR method to get our money back out of it. So that was pretty eye-opening to us, that you could buy a rental property and have zero money out of pocket, because we ended up, used a private lender, gave him interest, got a loan from the bank. So we had no money out of pocket. And yet we had a $125,000 house with 25 grand in equity. And it was rent and cash flowing $200 a month. So that was just mind blowing to us, that you could do that with, no experience. Like we didn't have, just, going about it and, doing your due diligence along the way. It was pretty eye opening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it started with a mental breakthrough of saying, I'm not willing to accept X anymore, as far as Lucas talked about working for somebody else, leveraging other connections you knew, self-education, and taking massive imperfect action, got you a cash flowing deal with no money down, essentially, which is pretty cool. So that's awesome. I guess let's continue moving forward there. I had to cut in just to ask. I was curious.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. So moving forward after 2014, 2015, 16, we started adding a little bit more. We both each had full-time jobs. He had his engineering job, and I was a salesman selling construction equipment. And unlike Lucas, after a month into his job, he did not like it. He's like, I'm done. I can't sit behind a desk all day. He was taking 3-hour lunches, making offers on houses, and just, I'm surprised he didn't get fired, honestly, but he ended up quitting. My job, I liked it. It was a great job. I was fortunate enough to kind of move my way up. I was a sales manager when I was 28 years old. I had, 10 or 15 guys underneath me, and I was making really, really good money, more money than I thought I'd ever make when I was 28, let alone, or 38 even. But I just kind of looked at everything, and as what Luke and I was doing was kind of building wealth for ourselves, not for somebody else. I was going to retire probably when I was 55, which is awesome, with a good 401k and be able to retire well and travel and have fun and be able to hand some money down to my kids. That's what was in store for me, but that wasn't good enough. I wanted to build my own generational wealth. I wanted to be able to have assets and be able to hand things down to my kids' kids, and be able to, create a foothold in financial foothold, to where it wasn't just, I'm going to retire with a couple million in 401k and just kind of bleed that out and give my family a little bit of money. I wanted to be able to have a large portion of wealth to be able to hand down and be able to last through at least 1, 2, 3 generations. So that was kind of, a different path to kind of go big or go home, I guess I would say. So we kind of did that over the next couple of years, 2015, 16, I think 2017, we probably had maybe 30 doors. So a pretty good chunk while we had full-time jobs. And at the end of 2017, Luke went full-time into real estate, being a project manager for Faster House, which is the company we own now. And then in 2018, just to kind of wrap this up, they approached me about Lucas, and the current owner of Faster House, all partnering a third in this flipping company. And it allowed me to go full-time into real estate. And since then, our portfolio's, doubled in the past year and a half. And we've been able to really ramp up the flipping company and start this education company as well.
That's amazing, man. Always love hearing those stories, and it's good for the listeners, as I always say, being able to build the social proof of just hearing and conceptualizing and having people explain what they've done, allowing you to actually start building in some belief that you can do it too, is just as important as the strategic and, the mechanics of how to create a deal or how to do a BRRRR method deal, whatever like that. I'm curious, what's your intention behind the education of wanting to help other people? So what's your intention on, behind wanting to do education versus taking any time and mental exhaustion towards just putting that right back into the real estate business?
It's a good question. I'll answer my answer. It's pretty short. The part of the education business that I like is just creating content. And because I feel if I had someone to watch along the way and not just read a book, we could have really accelerated our growth even quicker. So my favorite part of it's the YouTube, creating videos of what we're doing on a daily basis, and hopefully someone watches that and it lights a spark or helps them grow a little further.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of fun, and it's fun to watch the YouTube channel grow and to be able to help people and watch them implement the things that you're teaching them. There's a little vanity to it. It's kind of fun to see other people be successful, doing what you're doing. But it's just kind of to the point where we have a lot hired out in our flipping company, our rental company. We have an office staff and a couple maintenance people that kind of run the operations and run the rehabs. And so we're not really super hands-on in our rental company, which we're wanting to grow aggressively. And then our flipping company, it just provides so much content. Luke's kind of heading up that right now. He's running the show on that, and I'm kind of running the show on the education company. So we're kind of dividing and conquering, and it's fun. It's really fun, and there's not near as much overhead in the education company. We have 60 grand overhead a month in our flipping company, so pretty substantial overhead to hit every month. But the education company is just about our content and our time. There's not near as much overhead, so it's kind of a little bit of a diversification play for us as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. And we've talked on previous episodes too, just as far as a person's life at some point, once they have their basic needs met, as far as like expenses, things like that, really the only way they can keep getting more fulfillment is kind of ripple effect, helping other people. So that's cool that you guys got into that space and still have the other businesses rocking and rolling and increasing volume there. So that's cool.
For sure.
So I guess let's talk strategy a little bit, or we could really take this wherever you want from there. I mean, if you guys are doing educational stuff, like I said, I'll link that in the show notes for sure. For whoever this resonates with deeply, you can check them out more there. But what do you think is the best type of value that you could bring? We could dive into strategy on how you're acquiring all these deals, how Luke is heading on the project management, wherever you guys want to take this. You think that could be most helpful for people?
Yeah, I think we can take a couple different places, but I think the best thing to take it and the thing we're most passionate about is creating wealth through owning rental properties. That's what we've done. We've proven the concept. We've bird 27 houses, a 27 house path. We've bird an apartment complex. We've kind of the investing in real estate with no money out of pocket is huge. We're passionate about it. We like talking about it. We did it. And we did it with full-time jobs, which a lot of people listening to this podcast are already wholesaling and already doing things. A lot of them are probably full-time, but a lot of them probably have full-time W-2 jobs as well, and they're doing this on the side. So I think that's part of the reason we were so successful to kind of start that thought off is we had the W-2 job. It's okay to have a job and you can get into real estate. You can dip your toe in or, dip your leg in or jump in if you want. Being able to wholesale and hold rentals helps you do that. It's just extremely powerful, but it was a benefit that we had W-2 jobs. We went to the bank, showed them our tax income or our last two tax statements, the last couple of years, and then our active income that we had. So we were very bankable. Private lenders, banks, hard money lenders, all the money sourcing was very happy that we each had two very stable jobs, as well as wanting to grow along the side. And once we got to the point where we had their trust and the relationships built and the line of credits built and the mortgage lines built, we jumped in full time. We didn't do it right away. I feel like a lot of, I'll let Luke hop in here so I'm not rambling too much, but a lot of people, I don't know, like just off top of head, Grant Cardone's crazy. Like a lot of people that we follow, like jump all in head first, you don't do it now or, never do it. And I don't feel like that's not the way we did it. And I don't think that's a smart way to do it. Honestly, if you just want to jump all in, that's an okay way to do it, but strategically, slowly setting yourself up and then jumping in, I think is the way we did it. And that's the way I coach people in the way I think that's a very smart way to do it.
Yeah. I guess I want to hit more just on the mindset of things. Like this all started with that first rental house. And I think we talked about it priced for 125 grand and we had a 100,000 note on it. And now today that house is worth 160 grand and we had an $84,000 note. And that's just one house. We did 110 of those. And I think we only did like 15 the first 3 years. Just getting our systems in place, getting our network built out of contractors, bankers, accountants, and then we really started to gain some traction after that. So nobody get discouraged if you only got 5. The first 5 are the hardest to get, but you got to start with that one. And if you don't start today, I don't know when you're going to start. So today's the day to start. There's some good deals out there with the fear that's going on with COVID. So today's the day to start, and it's powerful for sure.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah. Go ahead, Carlos.
I was going to say good points and perspectives from both you guys. To touch on one thing, I don't want to brush over a great mindset point and even hack that Sam went over. And this is a small principle, but you can apply it for everything in life and in business, is that a lot of people that have a full-time job or some type of thing, they may see it as a negative. They'll look at it as an X reason why they can't do something, where Sam was saying when they did have jobs, he saw the positive of it, because he just became more bankable because he had a W-2. Him and Lucas both had income coming in. So when you're venturing out to do something little or small, it's a good art of being able to see the reasons why you can accomplish something versus why you can't. So that's a small example of it, but that's how they were able to get their first deal lined up and were successful getting their first few while still having full-time jobs.
Yeah, and the full-time job was it allowed for active income, because buying rentals, buying one rental too, even if you have 10 rentals, you have expenses and you're hopefully cash flowing a couple $100 a month, so nothing crazy. So you're not going to be able to live off your rentals right away. So you need active income. And growing rentals may sound like a long-term game, which it is, but we've been doing it for a little over 5 years now. And he did the example of our one house. We went from 25 grand equity to 60, 70 grand equity in just 4 or 5 years. You extrapolate that over our portfolio. We just refinanced our portfolio, the whole thing into one note, and we were able to take out 880 grand refi, tax-free, refi, cash that we were able to, then we're doing things with now. So it's not, you need the active and then you need the long-term growth of the rentals, but you can do so much with rentals. It's exciting. We refinanced our portfolio and pulled out almost $1 million. It's crazy to think about the power of real estate that it provides, let alone all the other tax benefits and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, while increasing our cash flow $6,000 a month with this refinance.
Yeah.
So there's just
That's
a lot
amazing.
a lot of tools, a lot of games you can play with real estate, which makes it fun. But don't get me wrong. When we jumped in full time, our growth exponentially grew. But it was nice to be bankable while we were just kind of getting our feet wet, for sure. Because once we jumped in full time to real estate, there was like a year there where bankers looked at us like, why would we give you that note? You guys are investors, you don't have a W-2 job. So that is important.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you guys break down what a typical BRRRR deal would look like with some numbers just in your market there? And then after breaking down a specific deal, why don't we talk kind of like operation-wise, everything A to Z, from marketing to find the deals? I know that you mentioned you got the first one with MLS all the way through, the back end of closing those out or refining into other properties.
Yeah, why don't you hit on the typical BRRRR and then I'll hit on finding deals.
Yeah, that sounds good. So typical BRRRR in our market. So we got a lower end market, a mid market, just like every other market in the country does. We like to buy, in our market, we like C+ to A- type of areas. In our market, that's probably houses that are worth 80 grand to 150 grand, 160 grand, 170 grand maybe. So a typical deal would be a deal that we buy for $75,000. We put in $25,000 worth of work. It's worth about 130, 135 all in, all said and done. And we can rent that property out for about $1,300 more than likely. We'll go to a bank and they'll give us a check for 75 to 80% of that appraised value. And our typical terms we're seeing with the local bank is about 5% spread over 25 years. And then we'll have a tenant in there and be cash flowing from then on out.
Yeah, we should cash flow at least $200 on an example like that. And we have dozens of properties with almost those exact same numbers. And that cash flow after that, just to be specific, that is after the mortgage is paid, after insurance is paid, after property management is paid, after maintenance is paid, after
real estate taxes
is accrued for, everything you could possibly think of. And then vacancy as well. That's after all that, we try to do $200-ish a door. So that you don't want people to think that you don't have to accrue for those things, or we're renting it for $1,200 and our notes on it $600. That's not $600 cash flow. You gotta have other things included in there. So
yeah, so it's kind of a minimum you shoot for is like $250 net cash flow, including insurance, everything like that.
On our houses, yep.
Yeah. Multifamily is more around 100 to 125 minimum per door.
Very cool. Appreciate the breakdown there. I guess let's talk just strategy. How'd you go about building this business, and where is that now where you've had this time to reflect and optimize stuff?
Yeah, so when we got started, we weren't in the business full time. So we leveraged our relationships with wholesalers. We went to all the local meetups, that you can meet people, you can meet wholesalers, you can meet contractors. We just got entrenched in the community and kind of made our name for ourselves a little bit as aggressive, younger, wanting to grow. We'll always get an offer on any deal that a wholesaler brings us, which was important. So we kind of did that, made a name for ourselves a little bit, and got to know some people and got to know Brian, who at the time owned Faster House. And then, like I said, in 2018, he approached Lucas and I about partnering with him a third, and we did. So up until that point, we weren't really doing our own marketing. We were just leveraging relationships with connectors, we call them. People who come across discounted properties, whether that be real estate agents or wholesalers or, insurance agents or anybody that comes across or potentially comes across a house that may need to be sold at a discount. I know we talked about Philip Vincent earlier. His niche is that senior networking, community. So that's kind of where he made his niche and gets a lot of his leads and deals from. So that's how we started. But now that we can kind of hit on that if you want to more. But now that we're run Faster House, we spend $20,000 a month in marketing, which is kind of my side of the business, is the marketing and sales side of it. And there's a lot of different ways you can spend money to find deals. All of our 4 full-time buyers, their job is to buy a house a week and throughout the year. So buy around 50 houses throughout the year. And their goal is to buy half of them through their own networking, through their connections, and half of them through the marketing that we provide. So it's a good mixture. So we can kind of hit on the relationships that some of them developed, and we can talk about the actual marketing that we're doing, and we'll be an open book, tell you exactly what we're
doing. We can touch on both. We could talk on the relationship building and then hit on the marketing.
Okay. Want to talk about relationship building? I feel like I'm blabbing a lot.
No, you're good. I want to hit on one thing before relationship building is we have a flipping company and then a rental company, and they're both different entities, but they complement each other really, really well. So a lot of the houses that we buy in our flipping entity, our rental entity just picks those houses off for a fee, and then pays our active income, but then also we get an awesome rental. So I don't know, a lot of people don't have it set up that way. I just wanted to throw that out there. And they complement each other really well. If you're looking to build a rental portfolio, having a flipping company is awesome.
Yeah, or just becoming a wholesaler and coming across deals and digging up your own deals, driving for dollars, putting out banner signs, sending out direct mail, all those kind of things. If you're doing that yourself, even if you're not full time, but you're wanting to grow a rental portfolio, you can keep the ones that make sense as rentals and pay yourself an assignment fee to your LLC if you want. Or you can just wholesale it off and make an active income, kind of make a little more income to provide a cushion in your account for your business, because you definitely want that to, lenders look at that. So you definitely want to have some cash reserves for sure.
Mm-hmm. Good perspective for sure. Yeah, Sam, you want to hit on the relationships, because I know it's been popular, especially the last year or so, driving for dollars, people driving around looking for distressed properties, things of that nature. So I didn't hear, maybe I may have missed it, or maybe you said it. If you guys are driving around or have hired drivers to submit you properties in addition to the relationship building, because that's something good to do when you don't have the $20K or whatever to spend a month on marketing and 4 full-time acquisition buyers, buying a deal a week for you. That's a good place to start for sure. Or just something good to add to the mix that's low cost.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'll kind of start a little bit with some of our things we do that are cheaper to get leads, and then some of the things that are more expensive, depending on, like you said, not everybody has a huge budget. So the cheap things are the relationship buildings. We buy probably 5 or 6 houses from a bowling alley owner. Yeah, he puts above his lanes that, I buy houses. So he knows all the people in the leagues and everybody, and, people have family or somebody that just moves into a nursing home or passes away or something like that, or just needs to get out of a house, come across financial hardships. Unfortunately, a lot of the times we buy houses at discounts because the person or the house is going through something, but we do provide a service to them to help them get the most they can out of it and hopefully get them through their situation. But they're just developing relationships. You'd be surprised how many people speaking to anybody who's listening, that come across deals, insurance agents, mold remediators. There's a lot of different people that come across houses that have issues, or potential people that have issues. The senior networking community, a lot of different, just get your name out on your social media. And as you talk to people, tell them what you do and what kind of houses you look for. Real estate agents, that doesn't really take any time, or it doesn't take any money unless you're, taking them out for lunch or coffee, but that's pretty cheap. Just get your name out as much as you can to your connectors, is what we call it, people that are connected to houses. So that's a great, very inexpensive way to do it. Kind of a level up from that is that driving for dollars you talked about. Yeah, we use the Deal Machine app, and we don't have any drivers. We have our 4 buyers all have an account, and when they go look at houses, they're supposed to, if they have time, drive around for 15 or 20 minutes to get to know the area. But as they're doing that, they're clicking houses, and then 15, 20 minutes after an appointment. So even if they're not setting time a day aside to drive, like a 3 or 4 hour window, they're doing that before and after appointments as they're out and about. Because if we're going on an appointment, we're probably interested in a house in that area, so might as well drive around a little bit. And that's a fairly inexpensive way. And then we also have the rest of our team. They all have access to that. So we do have drivers. We have a team of about 12 or 13 in our flipping company. And then we have a traditional brokerage and a hard money lending, a wing and all that. So we probably have 20, 25 people in our office, and all of them, if they want, have access to that app so they can drive around a little bit and send mail directly from there. So that's a pretty inexpensive way to do it as well. And then kind of going up from there as far as costs, we do send direct mail. We probably spend $5,000 a month in direct mail. We hit all the regular absentee. We try to filter everything with absentee if we can, but then you can stack it with someone's an absentee owner and they're going through a bankruptcy, send it to them, or someone is an absentee owner and has a lien on the house. And you can, we like to stack them a little bit. We don't like to do just here's a zip code, we're going to send to every absentee owner in this zip code in this county. We like to filter it a little bit because I like to give the guys, my acquisition guys, as quality leads as possible. If that makes sense. And our number one lead source, our number one for leads and buys is our SEO, which I know takes time for some people to set up, which is search engine optimization. If anyone doesn't know what that means. So if someone types in "sell my house fast cash" and they're in St. Louis, which is our market, we put a lot of time and effort to pop up at the top of that list, because someone's probably not going to scroll 3 pages deep. So that is our most successful and our cheapest way to come across deals as well. We do some Facebook advertising as well, but those are kind of our main pillars if you want to go into any more detail on any of those.
Very cool. So, nothing that you guys haven't heard before as far as traditional marketing. They definitely filter down and get a little bit more specific on the direct mail, which is cool. And then it's kind of just like a company, all enticing, try to find deals from other people by just marketing 101, letting people know what you do, it sounds like. So that's definitely cool. Got a big operation. You said 25 people in the office?
Yep.
About 20.
About 20.
Yeah, 20.
Yep. In the office. Yep.
Very cool. And go ahead.
Something that we just started doing that people may or may not be doing is we do Facebook advertising that helps. We send to our website, so it helps our SEO quite a bit, a lot actually. We turned on our Facebook advertising, and our SEO, like our website visitors, doubled because people are seeing our ads and going to our website, and they may or may not be. They may or may not be interested in the time, but they keep seeing our ad pop up. And then in Facebook, we also upload every person that we send a letter to, we upload them into Facebook. So we're hitting them with Facebook ads as well. Everybody that calls our office, we hit them with Facebook ads as well. We upload their numbers into Facebook, and, they don't all match, but the numbers that do match, we send ads to. So we're trying to hit them on different levels, which I don't know if someone doesn't have quite the size of the organization, they may not want to or have the need to do that, but we try to hit it from every angle we can. We've even uploaded like a bigger list of properties that we bought and tried to do lookalike audiences and different things in the back end of Facebook. So we're hitting them on Facebook. They can look us up. We're hitting them with mail. We have some outbound callers that are calling them. Every way that we hit them, we filter it all through Facebook because, most people are on Facebook. Most of the people we buy houses from are in that 40 to 50, 55 range. They're a lot of times their parents' house, but those people are all pretty active on Facebook. My mom's 61. Love you, Mom. And she's on Facebook too. So that age group is still pretty active on Facebook. So we do upload a lot of little more customizable things in Facebook as well as just general marketing, because you can't specifically target a little area by age anymore on Facebook. They're kind of broad in their what you can actually advertise to.
That's awesome and definitely a good strategy. You guys are having success doing that on Facebook?
Oh yeah. I think right away, if I remember the numbers directly, we started Facebook about 1.5 years ago, the advertisements pretty heavily. I think we had like 600 or 700 unique new visitors a month to our website, which I think is okay, but we turned on the ad, and then within that first full month, we had like 2,700 active, new visitors to the website. So it's just really pushing people to our website. We spend a lot of time and money on our website over the years. It's a really good website. You guys can check it out, www.fasterhouse.com, just to kind of see how we have things organized and how we use SEO and leverage that and use all our different blogs and everything to try and populate. But it's really made a big difference on our SEO. I think we've got 13 or 14 houses this year we bought through the lead source of through our website, and I think the next closest is probably probate or obituary mailings. Probably 3 or 4. So it's probably triple any other lead source we have. and the quality too. It's once out of every 6 leads is a buy for SEO, which is
that's awesome.
Our average is 10. 1 out of every 10 leads is a buy, but for certain things, it's less. And we push as much money as we can in those things that are less, obviously.
Yeah, that's not how it started. We struggled mightily with Facebook getting started. We tried someone else's methods, and that was like pretty much having the lead form in the Facebook ad, and that did not work at all for us. So we started to leverage the power of our website and just started shooting people there and capturing everything we need from there.
Yeah, we had people filling out web form or Facebook lead forms, and people would fill it out, and our acquisition guys get a little frustrated because they would say, I just saw a picture of a house you're at. I wanted to know what my house is worth. Or, I'm a renter and I was just curious of what you thought my house was worth, and just a lot of wasted time. So we were getting a lot of leads, but they weren't quality. So we push them to our website, and hopefully they'll read what we actually do and what we're about, and that'll kind of filter them a little bit. Try to shoot a little more narrow.
So that's a great nugget just for this point in time. And, Facebook could always be tweaking different privacy or how they're set up on their end. But that's a great nugget there, guys, to make sure that anything Facebook that you have your company branding on, make sure you're pointing them back to your own website to try to get them to fill out your information. Ideally, that comes into an acquisitions member that's able to answer that and get back to them as soon as possible. Who's setting up? I'm just curious, with an operation of 20, and I kind of see, not to be stereotypical, but kind of the visionary integrator, with the sales guy and the engineer type setup here. Who in your company is handling all the Facebook stuff, SEO, coming up with the content, all that stuff for you guys?
So we do a lot of that in-house. Our SEO is all in-house. Our Facebook, we use a local company, Drive Social Media. We use them for all our Facebook advertising. We meet with them quarterly, and they come up with different ads, and we pick and choose the wording and say we like this or don't like that. So they do a lot of it, but we kind of steer the ship. They do all the work. So they handle that, which is kind of nice. We just have to meet them quarterly. And then our SEO is done in-house with our marketing channel. And for our flipping company, Lucas is the integrator. He's in charge of it, like I said, and I just do the sales and the marketing. And for our education company, I'm the integrator, and Luke just so that's kind of how we have it. Like you said, the EOS model with the visionary and integrator. And then we're both visionaries, I apologize, in all the companies we have.
We also have a business systems analyst on the back end of things that helps us know what marketing channel is working great. So if she's 25 years old, super techie, and just gets our numbers where they need to be. So we just make simple decisions based off the numbers.
That's awesome. Talk a little bit on that, because that's just a huge thing as far as knowing where you're efficient in your marketing spend, where you're not, and being able to be nimble and make adjustments quarterly, it sounds like, or potentially quarterly if that's how often you meet, at least with the social media SEO side of things. But talk a little bit about knowing your numbers and marketing and why that's been so important for you guys and will be moving forward.
Yeah, well, the good thing about being a smaller company, give or take, in the flipping world we might be bigger, but overall we're a small company. We are very flexible, especially with our marketing. And I think we kind of noticed it and put it into play here with this COVID crisis. So I think it was about March 15th. And we had no idea where this thing was going. So we're like, let's cut everything we can for now. So kept all our staff. That was never an issue at all. But our marketing we cut down to about 45% of what it normally would be for about a month and a half. And we were able to make those decisions because we just looked at the numbers and looked at the conversion rates, and boom, right there, we just drop it out. And during that time, the connector. Those connector relationships were most important because we weren't spending as much money. But it's incredibly important. And if you know your numbers, you were able to make informed decisions quickly.
Yeah, we didn't always know our numbers as well. We kind of been digging into that a lot more this last year. But like you said, it's so important. So we know our average leads per buy is 10. So the things that are below that, probate, I think is like around 5 or 6. SEOs around that 6 or 7. And there's different things that provide obviously very quality leads because we're getting less than 10 leads per buy. So if those dials are able to be turned up, then we can. And the things that are like AdWords it was just not working for us recently. It was, I think it was 25 or 26 leads per buy. We hadn't had a buy in several months, and we can see all that because we were getting some leads, but we just weren't getting the buys. They weren't converting. So if you know your numbers, you can't always turn the knob up for that marketing that's working very well. But if you can, and that's producing high quality leads, we can turn it up. Like our Facebook advertising, like we talked about earlier, and our SEO are linked. So the SEO leads are working. So we just almost doubled our Facebook. Earlier today, we had a web conference with our social media company, and we almost doubled our budget monthly because we're wanting to crank that part up, because SEO has proven that it's a great lead source, and it's proven that Facebook helps our SEO because we're sending people to our website. So knowing your numbers allows you to make informed decisions, which is obviously extremely important.
Mm-hmm. Love that you guys are doing that. Very, very humble saying you're a small company in the grand scheme of things. Sure, maybe Amazon, companies like that, a smaller company, but real estate operation definitely very impressive there. And I like how you broke down the numbers there, even knowing how many leads it takes to get a contract for each of your marketing campaigns. So ideally, that's what everybody is either doing now or putting systems and learning about how to do, because making informed decisions, that's what it's all about. I guess I want to hit on to kind of not wrap this thing up, but get towards the end of the interview here. I'm curious what you guys are looking to do moving forward. I'm assuming you have a ton of money coming in, passively from the rentals. You're starting to do the education, which is going to hit some fulfillment for you guys as far as being able to help other people, achieve financial freedom, optimize their lives, things like that. You guys are doing the education and YouTube as well, which is fun, gives you guys energy, things like that. But I guess in general for Sam and Lucas, what are you guys looking to do moving forward in addition to that?
I'll hit on rentals, I guess, maybe flipping. I'll let you hit on education. So rentals, I think our long-term goal is 100 million in assets. That's just kind of a big ass number we just put together and threw out there, and we're going to go for it. We've got about 8.5 million in assets right now, and just smart leverage along the way, I think we'll be okay. Our rental team is Sam and I as kind of leaders, and then we have an office manager, a operations supervisor, and a maintenance tech. And with that current team, I think we can add about another 40 doors. So that is our goal over the next 1 to 2 years, 40 doors, and then we'll kind of build out that team as we see fit at that point. We just went under contract on a kind of a development deal, storage unit deal that will have not a whole bunch of storage units, but a lot for us, but about 200 either storage lots or storage units that we're going to build out over the next few months here. So that'll be a fun project in the rental world. The flipping world, it's kind of on autopilot. I think we want to grow, but not tremendously. We want to get more profitable first. I think we're at like 35% profitability, net income versus our gross profit. Kind of get that up closer to the 40 range would be huge for us. And then also kind of free up some time from Sam, because he's our sales and marketing person right now. If we could have a sales manager come in and kind of run our acquisition guys, I think that would free up a lot of time for Sam to run the education business.
Yeah, to talk about the education business. Yeah, we don't know exactly 100% where it's headed. Lucas and I just kind of we started, it's Faster Freedom, play on the Faster House is our flipping company name, but Faster Freedom is the name of that company. And we're just kind of getting things in line right now, growing an audience. The YouTube channel's been fun. We just launched it I don't think quite 2 months ago maybe, but around that time. So we're just getting that going. We're having fun creating videos. We're walking through every house that we buy and add to our rental portfolio, trying to do before and afters, and trying to give as much as we can. And we're not, it's never going to be a huge profit center for us. It's fun. We don't charge a bunch. We haven't even done a boot camp. We're not advertising it. We don't need to advertise that right now, but we're doing it at the end of June. And I know a lot of people like a weekend boot camp charge, I know $10,000, $15,000. We're charging $1,000 for a boot camp where Lucas, myself, and Brian, the other owner, are going to be teaching how to build a rental portfolio. So we honestly like to help people and have that mindset of abundance and help people get there, because it's not easy, but man, we can do it, and we are doing it. A lot of people can do it. If we're doing it, and we've been able to, like I said, just almost pull out $1 million tax free, which still blows our mind. And we're able to do some things that we've done. I feel like we can help other people do that, and I think everybody should be invested in real estate at some level if they want to just get an extra $1,000 a month, or if they want to retire early or retire better. Whatever they want to do, real estate is a great vehicle to help them do that. And yeah, we want to make money along the way in the education company, but we want to just be kind of known as the help you build your rental portfolio of single family houses or small apartment complexes. We kind of want to be known as those people, because I don't know, I know a lot of national wholesalers, a lot of national syndicators, a lot of all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of our goal for education companies, to be kind of known as, we'll help you use the BRRRR method and no money out of pocket, grow to whatever level you want to be, I guess is the probably not super great way to explain it, but that's how I explain it.
No, that's cool. That's really cool, guys. What's the best place to reach out to you for those listening?
That's probably our Instagram or Facebook. The Instagram handle is Faster Freedom, and then the Facebook is Faster Freedom as well. Just shoot us a message or just make a post or whatever, and then we'd love it if you check out our YouTube channel. It's Faster Freedom as well. I'll send you the link to that, but it's just Faster Freedom on YouTube. Like I said, that's newer. There's not really a way to reach out for us. We'd love you to check us out, comment on the videos, like them, let us know what you want to see. Like I said, we're always doing something. We just put off on an apartment complex we didn't get, but we're doing a development deal and storage. So we're always we're super aggressive as far as our rental portfolio. So we're always going to be doing something interesting. So that's always going to be great, up-to-date content. We're actively doing. We're not teaching something we did 10 years ago. We're teaching something we're actively doing. So there's a lot of good quality content on there.
Yeah, that's awesome, guys. Well, hey, check them out. I'll have all their social media, YouTube in the show notes below. So definitely check them out. Definitely appreciative of you guys. Glad Philip got us connected here, man. St. Louis has some players out there, man.
Awesome. We do. We appreciate it very much. Thanks for having us on. Like I said, we never met, so we appreciate you answering my email and saying you have us on. And if you ever want to dig into deeper in anything we're doing, we're more than happy to come back on and chat.
Awesome, man. My pleasure. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Carlos.
Thanks, man.
Cool. Thanks, guys.